Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Village of Ossining Zoning Board of Appeals regular meeting of September 8th, 2020. Remember, due to the public health and safety concerns associated with COVID-19, the board is meeting via video conference using the Zoom platform in accordance with Governor's Executive Order, specifically 202.1. There is no public participation in person tonight. Rather, the public can watch the live meetings online through Zoom. Notice of tonight's meeting was published as required and posted on the village website. The web notice included instructions for members of the public to access the meetings and participate in any public hearings. Comments will only be taken during the public hearing portions of the meeting as usual. In order to participate, please do the following. Members of the public attending online via the Zoom app may use the raised hand feature at the appropriate time if you would like to make a comment. The feature is located at the bottom of the screen. Those attending via telephone can press *9. The meeting host will see that your hand is raised or that you have pressed *9 and will unmute those waiting one at a time so that you can speak. Lastly, comments can be emailed during the meeting to Martinez, MARTINEZ, at villageofossining.org. That's jmartinez@villageofossining.org. Any written comments will be read into the record. Please note that tonight's meeting is being recorded and a video and transcript will be provided at a later date. Now, there are a couple of ground rules. In order to keep this meeting orderly and ensure that we get a clear recording, please follow these ground rules. When you are given access to speak, please state your name and address. If you are speaking during the public hearing, please limit your comments to the matter which is the subject of the hearing. If any speaker is inappropriate, they will be immediately cut off and access removed. Board members, please mute yourselves when you are not speaking. And also to the board members, I will call on you one at a time to speak to avoid everyone speaking at once. If you wish to speak at any time when I am not calling on you, you may also use the raised hand feature or literally just raise your hand and I will see you and call on you. We will use roll call voting for purposes of all board motions. This is to ensure that the record is clear. Thanks to everyone for their patience as we negotiate through this way of meeting. For the benefit of the record, we are going to do a roll call to kick things off. When I say your name, please indicate that you are present. Marlene Cheatham, present. George Bailing.
Present.
Antonio C. Martinez II.
Present.
George Griffith. I'm sorry, Kevin Griffith. Sorry about that. Bob Durayo. Okay, and Nina Aaron.
Present.
Okay. Also with us tonight is Joseph, okay, I'm gonna do this right. Joseph Agostinelli, our building inspector.
Present.
Jamie Martinez, our planning director. Jaime, sorry, Martinez, our planning director. Jamie Kane, our board secretary, and Amanda Brosley, the village land use attorney.
I'd like to say hi to George Bailing, who has always been here on phone and has made his first appearance on Zoom.
Hi, George.
With a video, so it's nice to meet you in the flesh, sort of, so to speak.
Okay.
Good to see you, good to see you. Okay, on the agenda for tonight, the first thing is ZBA 16-2020, 265 Spring Street. Is that still on?
We have a question from the audience. I'm not sure why their hand is raised, but is it okay if I can allow them to talk real quick?
Yes, sir.
Pablo Molina, you had your hand raised? You have to unmute yourself.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have a question, sir?
No, I just, okay, I have no question right now, Jaime.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to turn off your hand. If you have a question related to a matter, there'll be an opportunity to speak on the various different items on the agenda when they come up, okay?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, we up to ZBA 16-2020-265 Spring Street? Is
I
there
have
anyone?
that under the adjourned portion of the agenda.
So that
Yeah,
is
I
going
think
to
we're
be,
at 9 Sabrina Lane right now.
I'm sorry?
I believe we're at 9 Sabrina Lane.
Okay, so, okay, so on the agenda was ZBA 16-2020, and that is adjourned until October. We're up to ZBA 19-2020, 9 Sabrina Lane.
Yes.
Is there anyone here to speak on that matter? Greg Tassio is the owner.
Greg Tassio, okay. And Greg Tassio, you're on. You have to unmute yourself, and I think we have Jeff here. I think is Jeff Landreau, and oh no, I'm sorry.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Tassio.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Can you speak? Are you able to? You're not coming through if you're talking.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mr. Tassio. I can't hear Jeff. Jeff is muted.
Okay, if that's me you're talking about, I'm Jeff Miller. I'm here for 26 Campwoods Road, not for this matter.
All right.
Oh, okay, thank you.
We'll move you off.
We'll see you. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Greg, are you here by yourself?
I am here by myself with the wife. I was down at the community center because the paper said in person or Zoom. I made it back in time.
Okay. I apologize for the confusion. I thought that it was updated online, but I apologize if there was an error with that. Who's representing you today?
Who is representing me today?
Well, sometimes applicants have an architect that come to represent them. Sometimes they don't.
I am here by myself.
Okay, great.
Okay, so this is an area variance for a rear yard setback to reconstruct a rear yard deck.
Yes. The deck was originally built in with the house in 1998. It had the deck was originally built with only 19.3 feet from the deck. The new deck is now going to be 17.5 feet. So it never met the 30 foot code, I guess you want to call it. I'm not really sure. I'm totally new at this. We just wanted to rebuild it. I don't know if the code was different back then or what the deal was, but currently the old deck did not meet the code either.
So is this deck already built or?
This deck is already built. I'm legalizing it.
Okay.
Should be me, right?
So according to
So basically, it has a rear yard setback of 17.5 feet, or it has a 30 foot setback, but the deck comes out to 17.5 feet from the property line. He's requesting a 12.5 foot variance from the rear yard setback. You can see here there's a survey that shows that the beginning of the railroad tie retaining wall and the deck that sits on top of it is 17.52 feet, and that's why he's requesting the 12.5 feet variance that he would need in order to do this.
Right, okay.
And the house itself is 31.5 feet back. So if you wanted to put anything, would have pretty much immediately encroached on the rear yard setback.
Mm-hmm.
He has shown his plans here. So these were revised actually a couple days ago. It says 9/7. So I guess yesterday he submitted some revised plans that show the style of the deck. The railroad ties actually sit closer to the ground. The deck is above the area that it's sitting on, essentially. So I think we had some pictures.
Yeah, so I sent pictures.
So this gives you a sense. That's the neighbor. This is the railroad tie. But this is the wall.
That's the other wall, right? There's one
the
right
other
below the deck. There's other pictures that show that, I believe.
The other side. That's a better view.
Mm-hmm.
So here's that railroad tie wall, which the distance from here to here is 17.5 feet, and the deck is roughly above it.
Okay.
And you were, when this was built, you were essentially tearing out one that had become sort of out of shape, and it needed to be replaced.
Yes, it was actually right after we bought the house. It was actually pretty much unsafe.
No footage.
There was no footings, believe it or not, or they were lower, but the posts were down in the dirt and they were rotted. The stairs were a little bit flimsy too. It's similar to some other decks that were originally built on Sabrina Lane.
Yeah.
It was not safe.
Okay. And Joe, in this instance, if somebody wants to, if they tear down a deck, essentially when they start from scratch, even if they needed to do it, it does require a variance, a brand new variance. It's treated as new construction, correct?
Yes, because it's a new structure, and I think in this case, the original deck, the setback was a little bit smaller than at this one, because when we got an updated survey, actually the variance went from like 10.5 feet to 12.5 feet. So there is a little variation difference of the original deck to this one.
That's that is why you had suggested I get the survey redone. So that's what I did. And it did in fact determine that.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else? I guess we should open the public hearing on this matter. May I have a motion from the board that we open?
Public hearing.
Thank you, George.
I second.
Second from
Mr. Martinez.
Mr. Martinez. If there is no objection, we will approve the motion to open the public hearing at this time. Okay, motion carried. Is there anyone else to speak on this matter?
No one raising their hand?
No one else. Okay, so may I have a motion? So may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close, George.
George. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Kevin, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried to close the public hearing. Let us go through the steps for the area variance.
Okay. First is whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the variance.
I would say no. It's a deck that was there before. It was that was unsafe and it was replaced. So really no change to what is in the existing neighborhood.
Okay.
I would agree with you on that because over the past, there's been several of those types of situations, and many of them had already been there and were being replaced, and maybe people didn't realize what they needed to do to get it done. But I don't see this one as being dangerous to anyone or a problem to anyone that I can visualize from what the information is we have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I will move to the second factor.
Yes.
The benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance.
In this case, based on the size of the lot and the configuration of where the house is, there's no other place to put or other way to put a patio in the back. So I don't see where they could do anything with the deck other than place it where it is.
I agree.
All right. The third is whether the requested area variance is substantial.
I mean, it's 12.5 feet. I don't know if we consider that substantial.
You would, consider it through the lens of what impacts it's having.
Well, consider that it's above ground and not really impeding on the space. I see it as not being too substantial to the property line itself, to the property itself.
I agree.
I agree too.
I agree.
Okay. The fourth is whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district.
No,
I would say absolutely not.
no.
No.
Not at all.
And the last is whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which in an area variance is not determinative of the issue.
Right. But in this case, it was a deck that was there before that was unsafe, that was replaced. So they did not create this. It was actually a safety factor that I think was actually fixed.
I agree with you.
So in light of going through through all of the factors for an area variance, I move that we take a vote.
I agree.
Okay. So may I have a motion to approve this,
Motion to approve the area variance, Charlie.
Okay.
Second.
And we need a roll call vote.
Right. So George Bailey,
Yes.
Antonio Martinez,
Yes.
Kevin Griffith,
Yes.
Marlene Cheatham,
Yes.
and Nina Aaron.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Mr. Tassio.
Thank you
Thank you,
all
Mr.
very much for your
Tassio.
time. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you so
Enjoy
much.
your new deck.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you. We will.
Thank you, everybody.
On to the next. Next on the agenda is ZBA 2020 40 Elizabeth Street. Geslaine Vera.
Just build up this. We have JB Hernandez here. JB, are you here by yourself?
Yes. I'm not sure if the client is here, but yes, we're. Good evening, everybody. This is a project, a renovation of this house for Elizabeth that it's been going on for a while. I will say at least 3 or 4 years, if I'm correct on the time. And when we started, there was 2 stairs in the rear that they were going to be repaired, and they ended up being replaced. And when we were close to completing the job and getting the certificate of occupancy, and we realized that since the set of stairs are being replaced, not just repaired, that we needed a variance. And so therefore, that's what we're in front of the board. We're going to need a side yard and rear yard variances.
So
I think you also need a combined yard variance.
combined yard variance.
Combined yard variance. But these are existing concrete stairs that they have been there before. They don't change the character of the house or nor the neighborhood. And again, they were not enlarged or it's the same size. Issues that repair was not an option anymore, and the client needed to replace them.
Okay, so thank you, JB. Is there anyone else here to speak? Is there anyone else with you to speak on this, JB? No.
I believe not.
Okay. Again, these stairs have already been constructed?
Yes, they were originally part of the, like I said, part of the project. Originally, were going to be repaired, then they're being replaced in its entirety because of the conditions of the time.
So we are looking at a variance for the rear yard setback.
Yeah, these are the stairs.
Okay, so the rear yard setback is 9.3 feet. The variance needed is 9.3 feet?
Yes.
Okay, and the side yard setback is a variance of 1.6 feet?
And
the combined yard setback
is
8.4. Okay, so 8, 1, and 9. Okay, just to be clear, so everyone knows that we're looking at 3 different, the side yard, the combined side yard, and the rear yard.
And that's when you're looking at the pictures to the towards where the car is. That's one set of the stairs, and the ones you saw before is the stairs at the rear. Those are the 2 set of stairs that were rebuilt. That's the outside of stairs.
Okay.
The rear is from here. Side is from here.
Okay.
And then of course there's combined.
Yes. Okay. Are there any questions from the board?
Did you look at this project, Joe?
Yeah, this this project actually started somewhere around like 2014. I know there's been some difficulties that the owners had doing the remodel of the entire home. There were certain things like the staircases that were supposed to be repaired ended up being replaced. There was so this has been going on for quite a while, and I know that the woman that owns this house, her father was doing most of the work for her. So it may have been at the time, I think, when the permit was issued back with the previous inspector, he probably should have had them go for these variances at that time, and he didn't. But with that being said, the fact that they're built and we have an actual survey that's updated to give you the actual dimensions of it, if you look at the house is already, the house doesn't conform to the setbacks as it is, so I don't see any other way with the staircases in the back, that they could do anything other than what you're looking at there, other than not have them. But there were original stairs that were there. They were just replaced with new. So to make sure this was done properly with the proper variances, I had requested that they get the variances from the board to make everything, match up, because these are considered extensions of an existing nonconformity of the house.
Okay. You're satisfied with the constructions being adequate?
Yeah, the construction of them are perfectly fine. We've gone through all the inspections. As a matter of fact, they're pretty close to just getting a certificate of occupancy. Just one of the things that we're waiting for is to see if they can get the variance to these staircases.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. If there be no other questions, let us open the public hearing. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open public hearing.
Seconded.
So that was George who motioned and Kevin Griffith who seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried to open the public hearing. Jaime, is there anyone to speak on this matter?
There is no one with their hand raised,
Okay,
and I have
so,
no emails.
so let us close the public hearing. I have a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing.
And may I have a second?
Second.
So again, George made the motion, Kevin second. Let us go through the area variance factors.
And we, for purposes of the motion, I think either a unanimous consent or a roll call would be best for the record. So you had a first and a second, but for closing it, I don't think everyone voted.
Oh, okay. So
Unanimous consent is
by
fine.
unanimous consent, if there be no objections, we will carry the motion.
Good.
I want to know for the record, we seem to have lost Antonio.
I do see that.
I did not see that, but we still have a quorum.
We do.
All right. Thank you, Jaime.
So let's go through the area variance factors for this case. Amanda, just to be sure, are we looking at all three variances? So we are making this one motion to cover all three variances?
You can, if you want to do it one by one, that's fine, but I think your analysis will probably be pretty similar for each one of them.
So is it feasible to say that we're looking for a motion to approve the area, we're looking to go through the factors for the rear yard, the side yard, and the combined side yards?
Yeah, I would, to the extent you can, as we go through the factors, evaluate each of the three variances.
Okay.
You can take a motion that approves all three.
All three of them. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, so
Mm-hmm.
the first factor is whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variances, plural.
Yes.
So you already went through it, but we have, a 9.3 foot rear yard variance, the 1.6 foot single side yard variance, and then the 8.4 foot combined side yards.
Right, and together, each one individually, the stairs were pretty much in the same place and things have really not changed as far as the outlook of the neighborhood. So in each of those cases, I don't think that there was an undesirable change.
I would agree.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, do you want me to go to the next?
Yes, ma'am.
The benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than area variances.
Well, Joe already said that there really wasn't anywhere else they could be putting this. So, no.
No. Well, and actually, I think the stairs are in the same place that they were before. They were just
Replaced.
replaced.
Yeah.
Again, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, this is kicked into the thing again because of the whole reconstruction versus repair. So if you repair it, it doesn't require it going back, but because it's reconstructed, it's essentially considered brand new and therefore requires a variance.
Yes, that's correct.
So this is a challenge with the code where these kinds of things come in quite a bit because you can't put the same thing back in.
The other situation is these stairs ended up, they attempted to make repairs, but because they were not structurally sound, they replaced them to make them better condition than they originally were. So their first attempt was to repair and had no other option but to replace them.
Okay.
Yeah, this kind of issue obviously will continue to come up as a lot of the properties. I can't remember who it was that mentioned it to me. There were a lot of properties the same age. And so we're just, this is going to be an ongoing problem in the village where people are going to need to get variances. I think it was you, Marlene, who said this, right?
It was me who said, these houses built in the early 1900s, I'm surprised that every staircase and patio and deck has not been replaced or won't be replaced by the end of next year.
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty common.
JB will be busy.
So third factor is whether the requested area variances are substantial.
No.
No, in light of the fact that the stairs are in the same place and things haven't changed, the answer to that would be no.
Okay. And the fourth factor is whether the proposed variances will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district.
No.
No.
I don't see where this is a change.
No.
I see no disadvantage.
Okay. Last is whether the alleged difficulty was self-created.
No,
No,
because it's a replacement.
it's a replacement, right?
Yeah, it seems like they also made a valiant effort to repair instead of
First.
replace, and so.
Bob Durayo is here.
Oh, wow. Playing musical board members tonight.
And that Bob did text me to say that he was having problems getting on, so good to see Bob on.
Hi, Bob. But you're on mute, Bob.
Oh, and Antonio is back.
Oh, God.
Back and back.
Okay, but for this particular, for the Elizabeth Street, this particular
Vote?
case, yes. The vote can only be, because not everybody was party to what was said, so it would actually be Kevin, George, Nina, and myself.
And Marlene?
Yes.
I was here. I heard it all. You just couldn't see or hear me.
Oh.
Of course
Okay.
I heard you.
I apologize. I had some technical difficulties, and so if there was a vote, it was not possible for me to be involved in the most recent.
We haven't voted.
We haven't voted yet.
Yeah,
Okay, so Bob, when did you tune in?
right at the beginning
Of the meeting or of this application?
of the meeting. But you guys couldn't see me or hear me. And I was texting Marlene and trying to figure it out. And then Jaime fixed it.
Okay, 'cause it didn't even see that there was anyone else on the attendees list.
I don't know. What can I tell you? I could see all of you and hear you, but you guys couldn't see me. I couldn't see me.
Okay.
Well,
Sometimes when the reception is bad, when there's a bad connection, people will come in and out of the attendee list, whether they're visible or not. And so I've seen people visible but not on the list, and I've seen people on the list but not visible.
Well, I definitely would have asked to bring you in if I saw you on the attendee list. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So Antonio, were you also present for all of that discussion or not?
No, I was not. So I'm going to abstain from the vote on this because of the disconnect that I had temporary.
Okay. So we'll vote Marlene, Nina, George, Kevin, Bob then.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but you haven't called for a motion yet.
May I have a motion to accept, since we have gone through the statutory factors and found that there is no adverse effect, there's nothing to deny this application. Let us, can I have a motion to grant the applicant?
So moved. Bob D.
May I have a second?
Second, George.
From George, okay. Roll call vote?
Okay. Marlene Cheatham,
Yes.
George Bailing,
Yes.
Kevin Griffith,
Yes.
Bob Daria,
Yes.
and Nina Aaron.
Yes.
Okay, the vote is 5-0 in favor.
And one abstention.
And one abstention. Thank you. Thank you, Antonio.
Okay, JB, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Right.
So given our board constitution now, Nina, you're here. Yeah, you're here to observe.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you.
I should just put myself back on mute.
Yeah. Thank you, Nina.
No worries.
So I wanted to clarify this, Amanda. Nina can ask questions.
She can ask
and
questions.
Be involved in the process. She just can't vote.
He's not voting. Yeah.
ZBA 23-2020, 284 Spring Street. Is that adjourned until October?
No.
No.
They were able to get all their information, and we have Stephanie Fox here.
No, I think 284 Spring, that one is adjourned, correct?
That was adjourned. I thought that we had, were the neighbors
Stephanie
notified?
Fox is here for the 9 Meadowbrook Drive.
Oh, I apologize. Yeah, I'm sorry. I must have misheard you. I was looking at my screen. Yes, the Spring Street was adjourned. They did not notice, I believe. Correct, Jamie?
They're not on the agenda.
Okay. So 9 Meadowbrook Drive, Laura Mishkin. And is there anyone else to speak on that?
The architect, Stephanie Fox, is here.
Hi, good evening. Stephanie Fox, 11 Rose Lane, Brewster, New York, 10509. Speaking on behalf of the applicant, Laura Mishkin Hamilton is her married name, for 9 Meadowbrook Drive in Ossining. The variance in front of you is to reconstruct an existing deck stair to the front of the house. There currently is a stair that's there, which is also non-conforming. That stair is 26.7 feet from the front property line. However, the stair, not only is it non-conforming for zoning, but it's also non-conforming by building code standards. The stair itself does not meet rise and run ratio that the treads are, most of them are more than 8.5 or 9 inches tall. And the maximum allowed by New York State Building Code is 8.25 inches. Due to that factor, when rebuilding the stair, obviously we want to rebuild it to conform to what the code requirements are. And due to that, there has to be a modification in the size of the stair. And due to that modification, now the proposed stair is to be 25 feet from the front property line, which would require a 5-foot front yard variance. You can see in the pictures the disrepair of the stairs. The survey that's provided is the existing as-built survey, which shows the location of the existing stairs. It should be noted that this is the front stair to the house, the main stair. Obviously, like many other properties in Ossining, it's on a pretty steep site. So this is really other than going through the garage, this is really the main access to the house, because the backyard is accessed through a series of retaining walls and steps. Basically, you know, if you were to bring anything in and out of the house, say appliances, or do any sort of, you know, repairs to the inside of the house, this would be the, you know, the main route, as well as the main route for egress as well.
So are these stairs already constructed?
No, they are not. The stairs that you see on the pictures are the existing stairs. Those are non-conforming. As I said, that there's no CFO for those stairs, so there was never a variance issued for that. So I'm not really sure how they plan to get to that second floor. But those stairs are non-conforming. But the reason why we need a little bit more of a front yard variance is because they were built improperly when they were built originally. And they don't conform to what the building code requires.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the board?
No.
Okay. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open public hearing.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Second. Okay. If there is no objection, we will, by unanimous consent, we will, the motion to open the public hearing will be adopted. So the motion is adopted. The public hearing is open. Is there anyone else besides Ms. Fox here to speak on this matter?
There's not.
There is not. Okay. So if there, by unanimous consent, if there is no objections, there may have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved, Bob.
And I think it was Bob and George. So if there's no objections, by unanimous consent, the motion to close the public hearing will be adopted. Okay. Once again, this is an area variance of 5 feet for replacement of stairs to the front of a building. Again, this is to bring the stairs up to code and to do a complete replacement of the staircase.
You can see in the picture here that this is the existing stair that's there. If you keep scrolling, you can see a side view and see how you see there that the stairs have already, they're starting to rot. The handrail has already rotted away. The railroad ties that are holding it up are rotten. And you can see, I don't know if you can tell by the picture, but you can see the extreme height of each riser that it, and the depth that it's a very steep stair, and like I said, just does not conform to what the building code requires.
Okay, so let us go through the factors for an area variance on the pertaining to this case.
For the first factor is whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance.
No, it won't. It's fine.
Before we get too far into this, I do need to ask one thing. There was a request that the applicant provide an updated survey clearly delineating where the where this was going to go and in relation to where it is now. And so we did not get that survey. So there was a notation, I think that Amanda, you had said that.
I spoke to Joe about that and I asked him if he needed that. And he said that all I needed was a clarification of what I needed, because generally speaking, the survey reflects the as-built condition, not the proposed condition. So you can see the proposed condition on my site plan, which was taken from the survey.
Right, and I was told that what you needed to do was to provide a narrative. With the narrative of what you explained, that the survey represents a staircase that will be removed, And then what you did is you showed a proposed staircase which would have a 25-foot setback, which obviously the survey won't represent because it's not actually built yet. It's proposed to be built.
Okay, I think, yeah, then that may have been my confusion. I do see a notation that says it's 30 something feet from the porch, and you're talking about demolishing this entire thing and adding something brand new.
Right.
That's
right.
right.
They're going to be replacing the entire staircase. So the survey will be provided when the new staircase is constructed to make sure it matches the variance granted if it is granted tonight.
I have a question.
The description was that when we had spoken internally, what we had said is to have the architect provide a narrative to explain exactly what she explained tonight, was that the staircase that you're looking at was going to be completely removed and replaced with a new one.
That would be.
She did provide that.
Okay.
And the new one would be built to code.
Correct.
Right.
And the one that's
So
currently there now is not. So that's
Is not.
reason for replacing it.
Question.
Mhm.
Is the new staircase going to essentially architecturally be pretty much the same as what's already there, just built to code with proper materials?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so it's not going to be different to someone looking at it from the street than it is now.
No, it's not.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions?
No.
No. Okay, let us continue on, Amanda. Ms. Bacon.
Okay. The second factor, if you were finished with the first, which is undesirable change, the second factor is whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance.
I don't think so.
No.
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 Okay. Third factor is whether the requested area variance is substantial.
No.
No.
It's a 5-foot variance, and again, we're looking to bring the stairs up to code, and I think that's an important factor here.
Just as a reminder to let you know, the staircase that's currently there is also not zoning compliant as well. So
right.
This is going to be a little bit closer. It'll be a bigger variance, but the difference to make it compliant is, I think we had measured would be roughly about 1.5 feet difference from what it is today.
From what it is now.
Right.
And that's due to having to increase the number of risers because the height of the tread is just too great, that they have to be lowered. That means you need more of them.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Okay.
The next factor is whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district.
No, it's going to improve it.
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
And the last factor is whether the alleged difficulty is self-created.
No.
Was it there that way when you bought the house?
Yes.
So then, no.
That's the last factor.
That's the last factor. Okay. So as going through the factors, this would be an affirmative to grant the 5-foot area variance for this application. We would need a roll call vote, a motion.
Motion to grant the variance.
I so move.
Okay.
Second.
Yes, Jaime.
Oh, nothing. I'm just itching my ear.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That was Bob and then Antonio seconding.
Yes.
All right, so roll call is Marlene Cheatham,
Yes.
George Bailey,
Yes.
Kevin Griffith,
Yes.
Antonio Martinez,
Yes.
and Bob Zarayo.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Ms. Fox.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, next on our agenda is ZBA 25-2020, 26 Campwoods Road.
Yep, that is, we have Kyle Bardwell here.
Or Edward C. Miller is the owner?
I don't know if the owner is here.
Okay.
Jeff Miller said he was here.
Jeff Miller, yes, that's right. He is one of the owners.
Right.
Hello, Mr. Bardwell.
You're on mute.
Hello.
And hello, Mr. Miller. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, good.
Kyle is supposed to be here. Oh, here he's here. Hi, Kyle.
Everyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so my name is Kyle Bardwell. I'm from the Chase and Companies, and I'm representing client Ed Miller, who has a existing gas station and service center at the corner of Bell Avenue and Campwoods Road in the village of Austin. Right now, he has 2 service bays and a small convenience store, and he's looking to turn that into a full convenience store. And with that, we're also upgrading some of the pedestrian access for the neighborhood to the site by adding 2 crosswalks and pedestrian ramps. We're also doing the exterior of the building to bring it up to a more aesthetically pleasing look. With that, we're required 8 parking spaces. We proposed for 8 parking spaces with 4 under the canopy. So sometimes when we work in other municipalities, they consider the parking underneath or next to the pump as a legitimate parking spot. So the Village of Austin does not. So we're here tonight seeking approval for the 4 spots at the pumps. And our thought is, for someone that would be coming to get gas, they would easily just walk in and buy something from the store. So we're here tonight seeking your approval for the variance of 4 parking spots at the pump.
Okay, thank you. Jaime, can we bring up a picture of the
And I can as well.
Picture of the what?
Of the proposed gas station, I think.
Yeah, so I have a lot of pictures. Here is a layout that shows the parking locations. Let me pull up. We have, I say a rendering here. I'm going to open this up. I don't know what we have in the rendering.
Okay, so that's the new.
I'm not sure that rendering does it justice, but the elevations look much better.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull those up.
We'll take good pictures once it's built.
That's maybe a better. Your elevations are much nicer.
That's much nicer.
It's a little cartoonish. I thought you had supplied your elevations. I know we have them on the planning side.
I can probably pull those up on my end.
Yeah, if you could give a picture of the elevations, that probably gives a better sense of it. These are nice, but they're kind of, I guess they're a little cartoonish. So it's kind of hard to tell. But this does give you a good sense of the parking spaces at the pumps that they're referring to.
Okay. So then the question by this picture, and I'm just going to go by this picture for now, can a car get around the picture closest to the building?
This white SUV.
Yes.
They would not be able to. There's no space between that car and the building for another car now.
No. Okay.
There isn't now either.
Yeah,
Right.
you can see that this is the area right here, and that's effectively the size of one parking spot.
You can get around on the outside, but not on the inside.
But not on the inside. Okay.
So over here, there's no problem. But here, there's a problem.
And it should be noted that we're not making any change to the footprint of the building. We're just, changing the outside finishing.
Okay, so I guess this is my other question. Where the car is closest to the building, those are the bays that used to be for the garage. Those will be closed off.
Correct.
So could a car park in front of one of those bays as a parking space?
Sure. I mean, we park cars there in front of the bays now.
Right. I mean, it wouldn't work as a legitimate spot with the drive aisle and the size that, you know, the town is requiring. So it's a tight site, and so we maxed out the parking that we have. So we were able to fit 4 away from the pump, and then we have, you know, the 4 that we're looking for approval for at the pump.
So, Joe, I just have a question for you. So the parking variance would be, if we granted a parking variance, it is to approve the 4 spaces that they currently do not have on site. Approve a variance for them not having 4 additional spaces on site.
Yeah, correct. The calculation says that they need a total of 8 based on the code for the square footage of the building and the use of it. And there's 4 that would be provided, so they need a variance for the 4 that they cannot provide.
Are there any other questions from the board?
No.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open public hearing?
Second by Bob.
So motion made by George, seconded by Bob, and by, if there is no objection, the motion will be granted by unanimous consent. There is no objection. The motion will be carried. The motion will be adopted if, is there anyone else here tonight to speak on this matter?
There's only one more person here, and their hand is not raised.
Okay. So in that case, may I also have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing?
Okay, so I have a motion to close by Bob and a second, I believe, by George.
Correct.
Okay. And again, by unanimous if there's no objection, by unanimous consent, the motion will be adopted. There is no objection. The motion will be adopted to close the public hearing. Again, this is an area variance.
That's how we would evaluate it.
Yeah, okay. So we will go through, once again, the 5 factors for an area variance and make a determination on this application.
Okay, so the first factor is whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by granting of the area variance.
No. I don't think so.
I agree.
Okay, so no. Anything else from the board? Okay. Keep going.
The benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance.
No. Footprint is what it is. There's no other space to put any more space.
No. My question, and this was my question, why I brought it up, Jeff and Kyle, was that I thought maybe if there was more space between the building and the pumps, that you could actually put a car closer to the building, which would eliminate needing 4 spaces. You could actually kind of bring it down to maybe 2, but since there was no space, that was.
Yeah, we were hoping for the same thing, honestly.
I tried. So in that case, the answer would be no.
We've been juggling cars around on that property for 30 years. Believe me, I know it's a challenge.
And I like that little station too.
Who's going to fix the cars if all the gas stations get rid of their bays and have and sell chips instead of fixing cars.
Well, the problem is that the young guys don't want to get into it like the old guys do. And, you know, you can see I got a little extra hardware now. And my father, him and I open this place up. He turns 82 this year. So his time turning wrenches are done too. So, you know, without a younger generation coming up behind us, we're kind of got our hands tied as to what we could do there and keep it profitable as a business, you know.
I get it. It's just unfortunate.
I agree. I agree.
Okay. I think we're up to number 3, Amanda.
That's right. The third factor is whether the requested area variance is substantial.
No.
No.
Okay. You don't want to give me any more than no?
No.
I believe that though we don't allow for parking to be at the pumps, as was stated before, I believe that people will pull up to the pumps, start their gas, run into the convenience store, come out, and take off. So,
You know, I would note also that when this project first came in, when it was evaluated by for the planning board by our consultant engineer, Keller Sessions, they said, "Oh, you can do the parking at the pump," and that was, I think, because of their familiarity with doing it in other municipalities. They didn't realize that that was not allowed here when they made that comment. And that's why they're kind of coming to the zoning board about a month later than they should have. So.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
The fourth factor is whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district.
No.
No.
And the last factor is whether the alleged difficulty was self-created.
I think it's been there the whole time, this problem.
Well, the building has been there. The changes is, you know, something that they are looking at, but this factor, you know, is not determinative in our ability to approve or deny this request. So, in the fact that they are changing the building, it is their choice at this point. So
this is a balancing test, like you're saying.
Right.
And if this is, you know, a self-created difficulty, it's okay to say so. We need to know for the record, but you can decide that the other factors weigh against that.
Yes.
Well, I'd just like to make one note. If we're talking about parking spots for cars, as a repair shop, we may get a car in that needs an engine job, and maybe that car might be there for 2 weeks. There's nobody going to come into the mart and park their car there and shop in the mart for 2 weeks. You know, I mean, that's in and out traffic. So we deal with long-term storage of cars now on that little piece of property that we're not going to have that anymore. It's going to be in and out stuff. So, like I said, we've managed for all this time with long-term parking. It should not really be a problem with the in and out stuff. That's all.
I agree with that.
Okay. Anything else from the board?
No.
George, do you have anything to add?
No, I think we've heard it all.
Okay, Kevin?
I think it is on one hand self-created, but I don't think it balances it adversely.
Okay. Nina, is there anything you'd like to add? I know I know you're on.
No, I agree. I actually think if anything, this will have a good impact. And yes, while it may be self-created because it's a choice to make the change, I think it's a good change.
Okay.
And so I think the other factors outweigh it being self-created.
Okay, and Antonio?
I concur with, Nina, the positives outweigh the concerns.
Okay.
Yeah, well said.
So in light of going through the statutory factors and seeing that the majority of the factors weigh in favor of the applicant, We will be looking to grant this request. I need a motion
Motion to approve the area variance
of 4 parking spaces.
for 4 parking spaces, yes.
Okay.
Second.
And it was motioned by Bob, seconded by George. Roll call vote.
Okay, Marlene Cheatham,
Yes.
George Bailing,
Yes.
Antonio Martinez,
Yes.
Kevin Griffith,
Yes.
and Bob Doraya.
Yes.
So the motion is 5-0 in favor.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everybody. We'll make you proud. I promise we'll make you proud. We'll make you happy you gave it to us. We promise.
Okay. Jeff, did you graduate from Ossining High School, Jeff?
Yes.
I think you
79.
graduated from me. What year?
79.
Okay, you're younger than I am. Okay, but I knew I went to school with you, and I was like, I know him.
I know familiar faces. Yeah, I've been around Ossining my whole life. So.
Yeah, I was 2011 was my year.
2000. Oh my goodness.
What'd you say?
Miss each other.
Did he say 2011?
I know, right?
You could cut him off, Timey. You could just.
Yeah. It's time to go, Mr. Bardwell. It's time to go.
Thank you, everybody.
Jeff and I are talking 1970 something, and he's talking about 2011. You can just click the button. I usually hear from him.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Stay safe, everyone.
You too.
I believe that is all for tonight.
It is.
That is 24, ZBA 0620 has been adjourned to October, so that is it for tonight, right?
Minutes?
Oh, thank you, Jamie. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the August 11th, 2020 meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Bob, were you? Yeah, you were there.
He was there.
Yeah.
I ask unanimous consent that the minutes be adopted.
Sure, can we get a second first, I guess?
Yeah, we need a second first. Kevin, okay, so by unanimous consent, Kevin, the motion on the floor, if there's no objection, the motion will be adopted to approve the minutes for the August 11, 2020 meeting. There is no objection. The motion will be carried, and the minutes will be approved. If there's nothing else, can I have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting and see you in October?
Motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
Seconded.
And all those in favor, just say aye.
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 Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Enjoy.
Good night.
Enjoy the rest of
Good
the
night,
summer.
everyone.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good
George,
night.
it was
Good
good to
night.
see you.
Yeah, good to see you, George.
It was really good to see you, George. Good to see that you're well.
Thank you. Everybody.